Another beautiful fall day here. I thought I would add Thursday update. Looking at a lot of things. My rant today is, and the question is, we have this immigration problem in the United States, but it's also in Europe and a lot of other countries that have adopted a democratic process along with capitalism. I mean, don't get me started on Sweden and stuff like this, because truly it is more of a capitalistic society than a socialist, right? The biggest problem in the world is socialism. Socialism really guarantees equality if that's what you're after. You will get it. Okay, I'm not speaking politically here. I'm just saying these are facts, right? And we need to take a look at it. And, part of the thing is there's in the United States anyway, there's this argument. Hey, if you're really a Christian or if you really believe in helping people, you'll let all these people in. Well, a nation can't absorb that kind of thing. It can for a while, but at some point it causes a lot of issues, right? You can go ahead and tell me that, hey, all these immigrants that came over into the United States were, from all over Europe and everything like that. There were things in places, and they would only allow a certain amount in. Don't give me this, hey, it was an open border thing, right? You are not looking at history. But here's my point. If in the United States we have determined, based on a business or a political model, how to operate a country. Now, take into consideration that when this country was formed, all of these characters involved with the Declaration of Independence and writing the Constitution knew they got kicked out of every decent country to come here. It was tough, okay? You can tell me about the Mayflower coming across. A lot of people died. It was a tough deal. All right, so what did they do when they drew up the Constitution? They said, let's limit the government powers, right? Because truthfully, that's where corruption comes in. Whether you have kings or dictators or everything like this, they knew the less government intervention you have, the more freedom you have, which creates opportunity for everybody, right? You can go back to the journals on the Mayflower. When they were coming across, wrote down, hey, here's what we're going to do. We know it's going to be tough when we get there. Let's all do the communal thing, i.e. socialist thing. That way, we'll all work together to survive. Well, that didn't work. So the second year, they said, hey, if you grow more crops than you need, you can sell those things, and capitalism took over, right? My point is this. All the other countries where these people are leaving and escaping, okay, trying to get into the United States, trying to get into Europe. Why? Because there's opportunities, right, for a better future and current living conditions. So my question is, why aren't all these other countries adopting a constitution that supports the people, right? Instead of having all this dictatorial power over everybody, we know capitalism works and we know limited government works. Give freedom to the people and you'll have innovation and you'll have an economy that takes off where everybody has an opportunity to succeed based on how bad do you want it? What are your dreams? What are your visions of the future? If your dream is, hey, I want to sit under a tree and pick apples and survive, go ahead and do it. But don't complain to me about not having a car or anything like that. That's called meritocracy, right? Which is how everything should operate. And, it's not discriminating to say, hey, that person can't do the job, she can't do the job. No. Who's the best for that position? That's what it all gets down to. But all these countries where people are leaving, instead of us arguing amongst ourselves, maybe we should be pointing the finger back at those people saying, Why don't you do this? You create a limited government scheme. You work with the banks so that people, you do an infrastructure, right? You get power, you get roads, everything like this, and all of a sudden the economy starts growing. And people get more and more work and availability of making a good income. I just can't understand why, and I think that's why the UN was originally invented, was, hey, let's figure out a way the rest of the world can have a higher standard of living. But somehow or another, we've gone down the path of crap, okay? And hey, if you want to have your country managed where people live like that, then there's no opportunity. Your people are going to suffer. Cuba, Venezuela, perfect examples. Don't give me any crap. You can go and study the GDP output and how those people live, and that's just facts, okay? So it's not Democrat, it's not Republican. I'm just saying, when we know what works, and by the book, if we do this, the economy, people prosper, and everybody has a better time. And that's my rant for today. Thank you for joining.